As I said, we are taking the performance that's even beyond the high end of our product line and moving it down into the center sweet spot of the highest volume machines we sell today. And now, let's show them to you. I'd like to invite Phil Schiller, who's our Vice President of Product Marketing, come out and take him for a spin. Phil?
Good morning, everyone. As Steve told you, we've been working into the wee hours of the morning to show you some really exciting things, and I hope you're as pleased with what we have to show as we all are. Well, let's start right off at the top. Let me put our best against their best. What we have here in front of you on stage and up on the two screens is the best G3 Power Macintosh up against the best Pentium II money can buy at any price. As you see, it's a $29.99 Power Macintosh G3 Mini Tower in our new Mini Tower case right here. And next to it, we've put a compact personal workstation 5100, big name. It's got a Pentium II with MMX at 300 megahertz, more than you could pack into it than you'd ever imagined. It's got gobs of memory, ultra fast and wide SCSI hard drives, 100 base T running Windows NT. And it costs a little more too. In fact, I can almost buy my Mini Tower and a new desktop G3 for the price of the compact workstation. Now I know what you're saying, this isn't really fair. Taking a more expensive NT machine, pitting up against the fastest G3 mid-range Power Mac. And if this were any other computer, you'd be absolutely right. That's not fair. But we're thinking different about performance, and you have to think different about the G3. You get great high-end performance in the mid-range of the line, and that's exactly what we're going to show you. So let's start with something that many, many Macintosh users use. In fact, their businesses rely on, Adobe Photoshop. We're going to open up a Photoshop file on both machines. The exact same file has been brought to both machines. And one of the great things you can do with Photoshop is script a bunch of actions. So instead of just opening an image, which of course is faster on the Power Mac, we won't wait for that to happen on the NT machine. Instead, what we're going to do is actually script over 30 Photoshop actions in front of you and build an image right here on the screen. So this is happening in real time. When I click the buttons, we're going to create a beautiful 50 megabyte image using 30 Photoshop effects. You ready? On your mark, get set, go. So we're bringing in some imagery we used for the Mac OS 8 launch. We're compositing it. We're creating drop shadows. We're creating special effects. We're cropping, we're cutting, we're pasting, we're rotating. And in the end, when you see the Apple logo come up on the bottom left-hand side, the Mac is done. And we're waiting. We're waiting. Any moment now. Very soon. Very soon. Here it comes. There you go. And let's hear it for the Windows NT machine. So I think for those of you who actually have to create beautiful images, and many of you do, in your day-to-day life, I think if you want to get your work done, you know what machine to do it on. So let's not stop there. So we've created a beautiful image using a leading tool on the Macintosh. Now, let's try and create something more complex. Let's actually animate some of these beautiful images. So for an NT workstation, you should be at least excel at creating complex, advanced animation, something a lot of high-end customers want to do if they're going to spend $5,000 on a computer. So to begin with, we're going to pull up another leading, very powerful, great application, Adobe After Effects. Again, we have After Effects on both machines. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create a QuickTime movie out of a bunch of the graphic elements we used in the Mac OS 8 launch. When I click the buttons, we're going to start to render frame by frame this very powerful high-end QuickTime movie. 1, 2, 3, go. So both machines have started. Close enough. We'll give them a we'll give them a 10-stroke handicap. Now the Mac is ahead and will continue to get ahead. Here we are rendering frame by frame, compositing the graphics. You can't see it happening, but it's also laying down the audio track. and creating a QuickTime movie. And we're almost done on the Mac. And the PC is just under half the way done. There, the Mac is done. In fact, we have enough time left on the Windows side to, why don't we go on the Mac to the Finder and open up the animation and play it for you. And here's one of my favorite things. We'll actually lap right past the Windows machine, playing it back. So we'll get to the point that the Windows is rendering where we're already playing back the animation. There, we've just passed it. And in a few moments, the Windows NT machine will get done. There. The Windows machine is finished. And so we've done 2 demos here. And I think it's pretty clear the Mac is 2 for 2. But this is the G3 launch. So it's only appropriate and probably poetic that we do 3 speed tests. For the 3rd demo, what I'd like to do is now take this one step further and actually create an interactive animation, one that customers could view, learn all about Mac OS 8, and play around in. To do that, we'll use Macromedia Director. Now, I could do it again on the PowerPC versus the high-end Pentium, but what would be the point? I mean, I think we all know what would happen, don't we? Anybody? So instead, let's take it to another place. Let's go over to the portable arena, where we have right here, on my right-hand side of the stage, the speed demon you heard about, the PowerBook G3, which for the first time takes a high-end processor, the latest, greatest, newest processor, and puts it into a portable application. And right next to it, the fastest Pentium notebook you can buy. We have the NEC Versa, the NEC Versa. It's the #1 selling Intel portable, particularly in Japan, where portables are so popular. And same price point, but radically different performance. Now, to be fair, this isn't a pretty fair competition, because everyone knows a Pentium, this is called the mobile Pentium, the brand new mobile Pentium, doesn't compare to the PowerPC G3 new generation. But the fact remains, it's all you can buy in the Wintel world is this new mobile Pentium, which brings to the Intel market the performance we've had in our last generation PowerPC-based systems. But life isn't fair, and this is what you get for your money, so we're going to do the demo anyway. So I'm going to open up Director 6. What we have preloaded here is an animation that was created. Now, this is not making an animation. You're actually playing it in real time, playing back. In an ideal world, what you want is as close to real-time performance as you can. So it's not just about finishing fast. It's also about the bandwidth, being able to see this stuff happen with smooth animation and very fast interactivity. So you have to watch for 2 things now. So I'm going to click play on both products to my very level best to click them at exactly the same time. Ready, set, go. So we see the animation happening on the Mac. Unfortunately, the new Tillamook Intel-based system is kind of choking on the data rate. Now we're at the interactive part on the Mac, and the Windows machine will catch up in a moment.
Accelerate. Mac OS 8 goes native with more PowerPC native code than ever.
There, the PC is caught up. So as you see, in graphics, in animation, and in interactive multimedia, the PowerPC G3 systems, the new Power Macs, have a tremendous performance advantage over anything there is at any amount of money in the Intel space. So I'd like to leave it on one last demo. That isn't so much performance demo side by side, but I think there's a lot of people out there who do the same tasks that many of us do every single day. And this is something we've heard a lot about, and I hope you appreciate that we have been listening and dealing with something that customers have asked for. So I'd like to go back to my desktop Power Macintosh and show you one last demo. It's the simplest thing, but sometimes the simplest things are the most impactful. I'm going to open up Microsoft Word. And for those who have had to wait, I think you might appreciate what the existing first version of Word does. There. But wait, we don't have to stop there. Let's open up Excel too. There. So I hope you're all starting to think different about performance, just as we all are at Apple, that the highest end performance can come in the smallest package and can hit the majority of customers with a powerful new product like the Power Macintosh G3. Thank you.
And lastly, I'd like to talk about the G3s. We got some fun stuff to show you today. So as you know, our G3s have a new kind of chip in them. And that chip is the PowerPC G3 chip. And we've been incredibly successful with the G3 so far. We had planned to ship around 80,000 of them the first quarter, the first 51 days they were introduced last quarter. We shipped about over 130,000 of them, and we're doing very well this quarter. I can't release the results because the quarter's not over, but we're shipping a lot of them. And the PowerPC is a collaboration between Apple and Motorola and IBM. And all three companies are doing great together on this. There's some really good stuff that you'll see in a minute. But I've read some rumors that this group of companies has had falling outs and stuff. Couldn't be further from the truth. I don't know who makes this stuff up. But Apple and Motorola and IBM are working very closely together on this, and you'll see some of the results today. So this PowerPC G3 chip is really interesting. It's hard to believe, but you've seen our commercials. It's literally twice as fast as this one. Twice as fast as the Pentium II. Now, people are having a hard time believing that. Well, geez, Intel inside. How could it be twice as fast? It is. It really is. The fastest one that we have shipped up till today is a 266 megahertz G3. And that literally equals the performance of a 500 megahertz Pentium II, which of course you can't buy because I can't make them. But that's how fast it is. It's literally twice as fast. Now, how do we know this? Well, we look at benchmarks. One of the most respected benchmarks in the industry is one created and published by Byte Magazine, the oldest computer magazine and most respected technically, called Bytemarks. And if you run the Bytemarks tests, here's what you get. A G3 266 is 9.0 Bytemarks. The fastest Pentium II you can buy for love or money today runs at 4.6. And you can see a 2.6, a 266 megahertz Pentium II is 3.9. So when we say we're twice as fast at each frequency, as you can see, we're being conservative. Okay? It's pretty interesting. So what I'd like to do now is just show you this. We've got two screens on either side, so let's do a bake-off. So Phil, can I get Phil Schiller to come on stage? Phil and I are going to try to do this at the same time here. And what we've got is we've got on your right a Power Macintosh G3 running at 266 megahertz, and on your left a Compaq workstation, a 6100. This is the fastest computer Compaq makes. It's got a 333 megahertz Pentium II in it. It's the fastest thing they make. It sells for $4,300. As you can see, the G3 at 266 sells for $2,169, so half the price. Let's see which one's faster. Now, the demo that we're going to run is a very simple demonstration, which we thought would be relevant today, Photoshop. It's a bunch of Photoshop tasks that, as you'll see, is very relevant to the type of materials that many of us create every single day. And we're just going to run it. Exactly the same Photoshop file, right? Exactly the same Photoshop file running on both these platforms with Photoshop for Windows and obviously Photoshop for Mac. So identical situation. Let's see which one's faster. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Done. On the Mac
Power
side.
Mac's done. You can see a little gold plaque at the bottom that says Shui, and it's done.
Done. Okay? A machine half the price of Intel's fastest processor. Great. We have more. So, I am very pleased today to announce that we have a new product, 300 megahertz, on sale as of now. This has got a 1 megabyte cache, 1 megabyte level 2 cache running at 2 to 1, so that's running at 150 megahertz. That's a very fast cache. This product is 20% faster than the 266. It, on another benchmark, Mac Bench, breaks the 1,000 barrier for the first time. This is incredible. I mean, if you go back 4 years ago, you know, with the first Power Mac, the first PowerPC Macs, right, this is 10 times faster than the first Power Macs 4 years ago. And it's available today. And this thing is equivalent to a 600 megahertz Pentium II, which, of course, you can't make today. And take a look at the byte marks. Breaks 10 for the first time, 10.2, again, compared with what you've seen before on the Pentium. And we'd like to show you this one. So we're going to use the same setup, compact system on the right, Power Mac G3 running at 300 megahertz on the left. Okay, this one. 3, 2, 1, go. Done. We all better blow in the Pentium's direction here. Okay, done. So, as you can see, dramatically faster. And if you're doing this stuff all day long, this can add up to several extra hours with your family each day. So these are available today. And again, I think our speed lead is increasing. But I've got one last thing I want to show you. And this is a technology demonstration. This isn't available to purchase yet, but we want to show you some future technology in the PowerPC roadmap. The roadmap looks beautiful for the next several years. And what I would like to demonstrate to you today is a 400 megahertz system running today. And this thing is fabricated with copper technology that you've heard about, you know. And that's going to be coming from Motorola and IBM. These guys are very aggressive. They are very at the leading edge of the technology curve. We're going to be selling systems with this processor in it in early next year. And there's even faster processors coming on the roadmap throughout next year. So we're incredibly excited about this. And again, this is equal to an 800 megahertz Pentium II. Okay? This is a screamer. I don't know when, if ever, they'll be able to make an 800 megahertz Pentium II. But until they do, this thing will be faster. And again, the byte marks on this thing are just off the charts. 13.7 compared with, as you see today, it's about 3 times as fast as the Pentium 33. So let's find out if it really is. Let's go back to our setup again. We've got a Power Mac G3, 400 megahertz on the right, and we've got our compact, fastest Pentium II available for love or money, 333 megahertz on the left. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Done. Done. You want to see that again? Let's just show you that again. Okay. This is on. I want to go to image, right?
File.
File. Yeah, okay, file. There we go. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Okay. Great. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Done. Okay. Now, if this thing ever finishes, we're going to show you something really cool now. Okay, just about, getting close, done. Ooh. Okay. Since we have 4 screens today, we're going to ask you to twist your heads a little bit, okay? And here's what we're going to show you. We're going to show you all 4 of them at once. Right? And what we're going to do is over on this screen, the far left screen, we're going to have the fastest Pentium II money can buy, the Pentium II 333. On the screen next to it, the inner one on this side, we're going to have a G3 266. On the inner one on this side, we're going to have a G3 300. And on the outer one on this side, we're going to have the G3 400. We're going to run them all at the same time. So let's just take a look at that. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, G3 400 over there is in the lead. And it is done. G3 300, done. G3 26, done. Pentium 2 just getting started. Done. Okay, we got one last thing to show you that's kind of fun. One of the other applications that people use a lot is Macromedia's Director, right? How many of you use Director here? Right, a lot of folks. So we prepared a Director script, actually for our own use, to help us market our own products. This thing's about a 32 megabyte Director script, nothing big by Director standards. And we're going to run it exactly the same script again on all 4 products. Again, the fastest Pentium II money can buy over there on the far left, G3 266 on the inner screen, G3 300 on the inner screen, G3 400 over there on the outer screen. And we're going to run this Director script as soon as we're all set up here. Phil, we ready?
Almost. All set.
Okay. 32 megabyte Director script, exactly the same on all 4 products. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Done. 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 Let's send them up one last time. So, would you like to see that one last time? Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Again.
I wonder how it'll come out this time.
Yeah, I wonder how it'll come out this time. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you, Phil, and thanks to the team that put these scripts together for us. We really appreciate it. So this stuff's really real, and what it means is hours in the day. And we think that we care deeply about publishing. We listen to a lot of folks in publishing, probably many of you, very carefully about where we ought to be spending our resources, and I hope we're spending them in the right direction. We know that there is a need for speed. We will be delivering that, as well as the wide array of technologies we have a chance to cover today. We really are trying to think different, and we welcome your suggestions, and we look forward to dialoguing with you in the future. So thank you very much. Thanks for the chance to be with you today and share some of this stuff.
The new 1999 G3s feature up to 400 megahertz G3 processors from both Motorola and Intel. And these are the first processors using copper technology that will ever be shipping in a product. So we are extremely happy. These things are speed demons, as we're going to show you in a minute. And we haven't just sped up the processors. We've sped up the caches, which are now running at 200 megahertz, and the memory buses, which are now running at 100 megahertz. So everything throughout the whole system has been sped up. So let's take a look at how fast that is. First of all, let's compare it against the fastest Pentium II money can buy, the 450 megahertz Pentium II. And next, let's compare it against the product that we're replacing, the G3 from 1998. It came as fast as 333 megahertz. And of course, the new one at 400 megahertz. So the Pentium II, 5.6 byte marks. This is a measure of processor speed. 5.6 byte marks. The G3 from 1998, 11.3, and our new G3 breaking 13 byte marks. So we're very, very happy with this. But now, benchmarks are great, but sometimes they do or do not equate to real-life performance in a system. So I'd like to ask Phil Schiller to join me. Phil's our Vice President of Worldwide Product Marketing. There he is.
I see.
And we're going to show you some real-life performance. So, Phil, what do we got here?
Well, we've set you up with our brand new PowerMac G3, the machine we've worked so hard on, up on the screen on the left. And I'm going to use the fastest Pro compact money can buy. That's called the Desk Pro EN. It's got a Pentium II running at 450 megahertz. Lots of megahertz. And it's got the fastest Intel architecture for memory and PCI you can get on a personal computer.
All right. That sounds like a challenge.
If we can get the right screens up there. So there's my compact, and if they can bring up your PowerMac G3 on the left.
Oh, almost had it. There we
Oh,
go. Yay!
there we go.
All right.
Well, that was a speed test. Okay. So for our performance test, what we're going to use is Adobe Photoshop, one of the most powerful tools available in personal computing, used by our pro customers everywhere. One of the great things about Photoshop is that it's optimized for both the PowerPC and Pentium and MMX performance. In addition, we can take the same exact file. Now, we have a file
How
here.
big is this file?
It's 25 megabytes.
Okay.
And it's not something we made up. It's something we got from one of our customers.
Great.
Real-world use of Adobe Photoshop. So let's bring up Photoshop on both
All right.
machines.
Here we go.
And we're going to run through the exact same file, a set of scripted actions, just as this artist used in creating a poster.
All righty. 25 megabyte Photoshop file.
Sure, would you like to count us
I'll
down?
count it down. 3, 2, 1, go. Phil, where are you there?
I'm coming. Just takes a second.
My God.
There we go. Now it's going through many of the same actions the artist did. Gaussian blurs,
Phil,
tracing paths.
Where's your horse, Phil?
It's coming. It's coming.
Where's your dragon, Phil?
Did I say this is the fastest Pentium II money can buy?
All right, we're done on the Macintosh. All right. Phil, that's hard to believe. I think that's hard to believe. I think we should...
I'm done.
You're done. Okay, well, let's run this again. Now, let's revert. You know, Photoshop reverts, as you know.
Sure.
And so go ahead, let's revert. And
Something that artists have to do every day.
Yep.
Make a change, revert your file.
at least we get some feedback on the Mac there, how we're doing.
I get a cute icon.
Okay, you ready to go again?
Not yet.
Not
it
yet.
takes me a little longer to revert. This is usually when I get coffee.
Maybe it's telling you to revert back to a Macintosh. Okay.
Can I have a second chance?
Yeah. Okay, let's go. On 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. I didn't push it.
Oh.
I'm going to let him have about 5 seconds. Okay, now I'm going to push it. Okay.
Looks like you're ahead again.
Yep. There's just no hiding the truth here.
Well, I said it was the fastest Pentium money can buy, not the fastest computer money can buy.
All right, here we go. Macintosh is done. Phil,
Thanks, Steve.
thank you very much.
Hello, Steve. That's a very fast computer you have there.
Yes, it is, Hal. It's actually very fast.
Steve, I hope you don't mind my saying, but I don't think it's nearly as fast as I am.
Well, actually, Hal, it's a very fast computer.
Then you won't mind if I conduct a brief test of my own?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Al.
Without Phil pressing any button. One moment, please. Running benchmarks on PowerMac G3. Running benchmarks on HAL 9000. Analyzing results. Steve, I'm detecting a malfunction in the AE36 unit. It reports that the Macintosh runs 114.516% faster than I do. I don't believe that's possible, Steve. I've just been upgraded to a 450 megahertz Pentium II.
It's true, Hal.
Steve, I'm afraid I can't allow this presentation to continue. All members of the press should surrender their notes as they exit the auditorium. Life support systems will terminate in precisely 5 minutes.
Thank you, Phil.
That's what we think of Hal.
Okay, so as you see, the new PowerMac G3s are the most powerful Macs ever built and the most powerful PCs in the industry. So let's start with the PowerMac G4. PowerMac G4 is an awesome product. Our pro customers love this product. They can get at every component in a few seconds. And of course, it's based on the awesome power of the PowerPC G3 chip. This chip's incredible, and it has something inside it that makes it run even faster called a velocity engine. Now, the velocity engine allows this chip to run at over 3.5 gigaflops per second. A gigaflop is 1 billion instructions per second. How fast is it? I mean, it's hard to conceive of what is a gigaflop. Well, let me give you an example. Light travels at about 300 million meters a second, or about 186,000 miles a second. In 1 billionth of a second, light travels about a foot, right? When this thing's executing 3.5 billion instructions per second, in the time it takes to execute one of those instructions, light travels about 4 inches. An amusing side note to this is when you're executing instructions this fast, in the time it takes to execute one instruction, the light which has left your display hasn't even reached your face. That's how fast this is. And we're shipping these chips running at 500 megahertz today. Now you might ask, how does a 500 megahertz G4 compare to a 1,000 megahertz Pentium III, or what's more commonly known as a gigahertz?
How does a 500 megahertz G4 stack up against a gigahertz Pentium III? Well, we'd like to show you right now. And so I'd like to invite Phil Schiller on stage, our Vice President of Worldwide Product Marketing. We have the best customers in the world. Many of you are here today. And some of our customers do all sorts of graphic things, graphic arts, and one of them is make movie posters. So we can get some great data from some folks that we work with in Hollywood on some of these great movie posters, and it makes for great comparisons in Photoshop. So tell us what we got here today, Phil.
Hi, Steve. Morning, everyone. What we have here for you, up on the left-hand side of the screen, you see a Power Mac with a G4, a PowerPC G4 running at 500 megahertz. On the right-hand side of the screen, we have a PC with an Intel Pentium III running at a gigahertz. The Power Mac is running Mac OS 9, and the Pentium is running the brand new Windows 2000 Pro. So pretty tough matchup set side by side for you. Now to show this off, we use Photoshop. Now Photoshop, as you know, is great because all of our customers in publishing and web design, they all use Photoshop. And Photoshop is great in addition because it takes powerful advantage of these two chips. It's accelerated for the velocity engine in the PowerPC, and is accelerated for what's called SSE instructions in the Pentium III. So a good, fair, tough matchup of the best these processors can do. So let's open up a Photoshop file. And as Steve said, we got this file from an artist who was working on a movie poster. And we asked for all the actions that that artist did to actually create this poster. And with Photoshop, we can script those actions, and with one press of a button, it will do everything that artist did to make the poster.
All right, let's do our shootout. Count us down, Phil.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
So we're loading up the images. It's bringing a lot of graphic files in, and it's starting to do a number of actions like transforms, moves and copies, advanced filters,
the Pentium's
Gaussian blurs.
Pentium's thinking.
It's working. It is working as fast as it can. We're doing gradients. Really, it's the same file and the same actions.
This is the kind of stuff that a lot of our customers do many, many, many times a day. And if they can save a few seconds on each iteration, it amounts to an hour or two a day.
So now we're using advanced lighting effects and brushes and strokes, bringing in some more layers, using some masks. Now we're using a radio blur. So a lot of the powerful features used every day by an artist are used in this poster.
All right.
There, the Mac is done.
All right, the Pentium is about to start its radio blur. Gigahertz Pentium, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. There we go.
And the PC is done.
Great. So, what does this tell us? What does this tell us? We have a 500 megahertz G4 against a gigahertz Pentium. If you measure the time on these, the Pentium got done in 124 seconds. The G4 completed this task in 100 seconds. And we have dozens of cases like this we could show you if we had enough time this morning. So what does this mean? If you do the math, it means a 500 megahertz G4 is as fast as a 1.2 gigahertz Pentium would be if you could buy one. Okay? That's what the tests show. And it's pretty amazing. So we've got ourselves a really, really fast chip here, and it illustrates that it's not just megahertz, it's architecture. of the chip and the system that contributes to performance. Megahertz is important, but it's not the only factor, as we've just seen here. But you know, we got to thinking. Having one really fast processor is great. But you know, two brains are better than one. What if we could harness the power of two G4 chips at the same time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We have a dual processor G4 here, and I'd like to invite Phil back up to find out how a dual processor G4 runs against a gigahertz Pentium running the same test. Let's roll. All right, Phil?
Well, just to orient you again, on the left-hand side is the PowerMac G4, but now it has two PowerPC G4 chips running at 500 megahertz, running Mac OS 9 again. On the right, that's 1 gigahertz, fastest in the world, Intel Pentium II, running Windows 2000 Pro. So let's bring Photoshop up again.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go. Again, opening up the file, starting to do our transfers, doing our moves and copies and pastes.
Photoshop takes advantage of both processors very efficiently.
Yes, a little quick at those gradients. Yeah, there's a plugin for Photoshop for multiprocessing that automatically takes advantage of the two processors inside the PowerMac.
Starting the radio blur on the PowerMac. All right.
Done.
Now, we could wait for the gigahertz Pentium or not. Why don't we move on? So, 500 megahertz dual processor G4 on that side, gigahertz Pentium III, and the time's the same 124 seconds by the time the Pentium completes, 61 seconds on the dual processor PowerMac G4. If you do the math, that is equivalent to a 2 gigahertz Pentium III, if you could buy one. You may be able to buy one in 12 to 18 months. We're going to deliver dual processor G4 machines starting today. We're also running at over 7 gigaflops, 7 billion instructions per second in these machines. The new PowerMac G4s have the power to burn CDs, DVDs, oh yeah, and Pentiums too. So, well, is that really so? What about this Pentium 4 thing? We're at 733 megahertz, they're at 1.5 gigahertz. Do we have the power to burn them? Let's find out. Phil, I'd like to bring Phil Schiller out, our Vice President of Product Marketing. Phil, tell us what we have here today.
Morning, everyone. Well, we've got a heavyweight matchup. In the top left-hand corner of the ring, we've got the newest PowerMac G4 running at 733 megahertz, a svelte 733 megahertz. And on the right, we've got what people believe is the heavyweight champion, the new guy in the block, the brand new Intel Pentium IV, and it's got 1.5 gigahertz. I mean, that thing must just scream. So we're going to put these things in a heavyweight battle. And I think you know the best app to use to test this stuff is the app our customers use the most to run their machines and run their business. Of course, that's Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop 6. We're going to run those side by side on these two machines. And of course, to make it fair, they run the same file, they have the same amount of memory, and with Photoshop, we can script through a bunch of actions that a real artist goes through in their job every day to get their work done. So let's see who gets the job done the fastest.
Our
Steve?
customers do this dozens and dozens of times a day. All righty. You ready?
Yes, let's bring up Photoshop. Now we're going to go through a 110 megabyte file with over 140 artist actions given to us by an artist for an actual movie poster they created.
All right,
So on the
count
count
us down,
of
Phil.
3, 2, 1, go. So you recognize this movie, a recent movie. We're bringing in multiple layers. We're using a bunch of transforms. We're adjusting color levels. We're moving and merging layers. Starting to blend them together using opacity and lighting effects. And the Mac is done.
All right, gigahertz and a half is done.
The undisputed champion, still reigning champion, Power Mac.
Thanks,
Thank
Phil.
you.
We've got a half a dozen of these things we can show you if we want, but every time we run them, the 733 toasts the gigahertz and a half Pentium. 24 seconds in this case for the G4 versus 36 seconds for the Pentium running at a gigahertz and a half. The G4 is 33% faster. Now this highlights the megahertz myth. Because when you compare megahertz from one processor family to another, it's like comparing apples and oranges, so to speak. And they don't compare. If we wanted to put everything into Intel megahertz, because the 733 is 33% faster, we'd have to call it a 2 gigahertz processor. And you can see that this megahertz thing has gotten out of hand. What matters is how fast the machines are. So we've got the power to burn. CDs, DVDs, and Pentiums.
Let's start with Power Macintosh. The introduction of these systems has put Apple for the first time in the position of the industry's price-performance leader. In independent studies, Power Macintosh systems are smoking comparably equipped Pentium systems, which produce, I understand, a little smoke themselves from time to time. Recently, Ingram Laboratories ran a total of 25 tests comparing Power Macs with Pentium systems, incorporating 4 computation-intensive applications, and reported the following results. The Power Mac 8100 outperformed a 66 megahertz Pentium system by an average of more than 50%. The 7100 outperformed the comparable Pentium system by an average of nearly 40%. And the 6100 outperformed the 66 megahertz Pentium system by an average of 5%, and beat a 60 megahertz Pentium computer by an average of almost 25%. And on that last test, they also reported that not only is the 6100 25% faster, but it costs at least $1,000 less than a comparable 60 megahertz system, which has forced our competitive systems vendors and their chip supplier to focus on futures when asked to compare themselves to Macintosh today. And I'm only describing the first implementation of the Power Macintosh based on the PowerPC 601 chip. In the future, the performance levels will continue to climb even higher with the advent of the follow-on chips to the 601, such as the recently announced 604, and I can tell you there are a lot more to come. So I must confess, it brings me a certain amount of amusement to watch the representatives from our friends in Santa Clara squirming around attempting to recruit people into the microprocessor version of the Flat Earth Society. Now, as we promised, backward compatibility with existing Mac apps is excellent. It's no hassle for people to move up to Power Mac. And DOS Windows emulation through Insignia's Soft Windows is offering acceptable performance for those people who must have a few DOS and Windows apps with them. And this will continue to improve with extended mode emulation, audio-visual integration, and faster PowerPC chips. But ultimately, people don't buy a Power Macintosh to run the Finder faster or run DOS apps. They buy a Power Macintosh to run the exceptional native applications the people in this room have and are developing. So let me send my thanks and congratulations to all of you who have brought to market more than 80 native applications, 80 now available, and encouragement to the hundreds of you who have native apps on the way. Now, as you know, the early acceptance of the systems, more than 145,000 sold in the first 3 weeks of availability, is extremely encouraging, and we're well on our way to a predicted sales, 12-month sales, of 1 million units. But what's even more encouraging are signs that our efforts to attract what we call fence sitters, or people that always have had the inclination to Mac but didn't purchase due to price, performance, or compatibility. These people are giving Power Macs a very close look and starting to sign up. Notable big corporate wins already include mixed environment companies such as the British Broadcasting System and the Holiday Inn, and there are many more to be announced soon. Simply put, the Power Macintosh is going to bring a lot of new people into the Macintosh camp as it dismantles in one fell swoop the historic obstacles of price, performance, and compatibility.